He's a family man with a dark secret as a serial rapist. And only one man knows how to stop him. Coming up on The Cosby Show. But first, questionable material with Jack and Brian. You are listening to Questionable Material with Jack Helmuth and Brian Sack. Once again, I'm unable to see you. We're on week 4 of you not knowing how to operate a web camera.
I tried again. We played Jackbox this past weekend, and couldn't figure it out. No one could figure it out. We can't get my web camera working. The light is on.
Yeah, you know what the light's off? I'll tell you where the light is off. Your brain.
I'm telling you, it should be working. The light is on.
Yeah. It's just hopeless.
Yeah, I know. This is the worst thing that happened in 2020 by far.
It's been a rough year for you.
It has been.
Jeez.
I'm sitting here getting paid for doing no work and then having my camera not work. I mean, it's just like, when's it going to end?
Yeah, that's outrageous. You know what? That's nutrageous.
It is nutrageous.
And a big shout out to our sponsor, Hershey's. Nutrageous, available in stores.
Good. No one's going to even pick that up, dude. That was really good.
Thank you.
That's exactly how the Hershey's folks wanted it.
They paid $100,000 for it, Jack.
That's funny because that's also a name of, Here, let me try one.
Yeah.
Nestle Crunch is delicious.
That's great, except Hershey's is footing the bill, not Nestle, you dick.
Okay, let me try it again. Enjoy Ben & Jerry's ice cream.
All right.
Chocolate flavored.
Right. You're really good at advertising.
Thank you.
I'm going to steer at a black rectangle once again.
Hey, that shows that I'm woke.
Yeah, well, maybe a couple weeks ago it did. Right now it shows you don't know how to use a webcam.
Okay, look, one man's woke is another man's incompetence, okay?
I'm trying to find a happy medium because the tinnitus has been going crazy.
Really?
Yeah, I think it might be related to the antibiotics for the Lyme disease.
Uh-huh.
But man, it's just constant, like, like somebody blew up a firecracker outside my ear. Nope, hurts. Hurtful. No, don't find joy in my suffering. No, stop.
Constant ringing.
How are things in Jack World?
Oh, Jack World's pretty good. Jack World took a big turn for the better this week when I got an invitation to spend the weekend at Brian Sack's country home.
It's the weekend place that's now the full-time place.
I'm so excited to have gotten an invitation to bring me and my family to the weekend place.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've got plenty of land. You just got to watch out for ticks, obviously.
Obviously.
And there's a trampoline. Your kids could sleep on the trampoline, I suppose. That'll keep them up off the ground.
Whoa, what about like the guest rooms?
Nope, those are all spoken for.
Oh, I'm sorry, by who?
Well, we're running a little COVID clinic.
A what?
Well, they're not really prepared for it out here. And so I offered up a couple of beds to the COVID folks. I've been sleeping on the sofa. We have one COVID folk in the guest room, another COVID folk in the master bedroom. And, they're recuperating nicely.
Oh. I mean, like, are you able to sleep at night?
Not with all the wheezing. Apparently this stuff, it makes the breathing really difficult. So we spend a lot of time outdoors, sleeping under the stars.
So. I wish, because I wish I had known this before, because I wouldn't necessarily want to be there with all those COVID folk.
Well, you said you were coming, and we've already done all the shopping, so I kind of need you to come.
Couldn't you just? First of all, I do appreciate your charitable heart. Like, I think it's a wonderful thing to help people who are suffering. So let me say that off the top.
Sure.
Good for you.
It pays really well too.
How so? What do you mean?
Because the nursing home that Cuomo was going to send these sick people back to is paying us to not send him back to the nursing home.
How much are you making per body?
They said whatever it takes. So I'm going to hold them to that.
Wow, that's great. I sure don't want to expose myself or my kids, and I guess my wife to COVID.
Well, you won't if you wear a funny mask.
Like a Nixon mask?
Yeah, a Nixon mask, because that would just like the germs find that, humor is how you defeat this virus, Jack.
Is that true? Because I've stopped reading up on it because I just found it to be depressing. Have they found that to be true?
I just know it to be true in my heart, and feelings overrule facts in my world. And I know that a hearty chuckle is all it takes to defeat this nasty little virus.
Okay, well, that's great. I mean, I'm super funny. I should be able to keep all the germs away and protect my whole family.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how you know you're funny. If you aren't sick, you're making so much funnies that the germs just can't penetrate.
Wow, yeah. That's great. Now, what if I'm like sort of like a modern day late night comic, and I just tell the germs things they already agree with, but not in a funny way?
Well, there's a good chance you're going to get sick because the germs ultimately don't appreciate your lame sense of humor.
Oh, but like if I really lectured to them really well, so again, sort of like I was like on any late night comedy show, wouldn't that help?
We can only wait and see when these guys fall ill. We'll know it's because of the funnies. They had a case of the not funnies.
Well, that's great. I guess I'll come now. I don't want to, I don't want you to be out $30 in groceries or anything.
Yeah, my wife's done a lot of what you might call preparation for your arrival.
Oh, like what? So, because this is something I wanted to talk about. I wanted to sort of talk about what you're doing to prepare for our arrival and what some of the rules, some house rules are there. So this is great.
Would this be this is now a segue? Did this just become a segue?
Yeah, a natural one that, perhaps doesn't need to be called out.
Wow. Okay. Then let's not mention segue.
Your wife has done massive preparation. What has she been doing to get ready?
Well, where do I begin? Obviously, because we have a cat and cats like to just pretty much do their business all over the house. She's made an effort to pick that up.
Oh.
And just put it all, we put it in the closet. We've tried to train the cat to use the closet. Cats kind of do their own thing. So they might poop on the guest room pillows. They might poop on the sofa, dining room table, armoire, hutch, downstairs, upstairs. It really, they do their own thing. And that's what I like about cats. They're very independent.
Yeah. Well, except for the poop, literally everywhere you look.
Yeah. And this, and they spray, they mark their territories. And it's like, oh, I get it. Okay, you've claimed this bed as yours. Oh, and this bed. Oh, and you've claimed the sofa as yours. Oh, and the coffee table too? Fine. Oh, my video game console? Fantastic. Now it doesn't work because you claimed it? Whatever. Oh, HD TV? Fantastic.
I'm concerned because didn't you say once that your cat sprayed one of your friend's children?
Yeah, and now it's our kid.
Really?
Yeah, well, this is what they do. They claim it, and the guy came over here pounding on the door. He's like, where's Leonard? And I'm like, well, Leonard's right here. But first of all, it's no longer Leonard. It's Boswell. And secondly, and I held up Leonard or Boswell. I held up Boswell for him to take a sniff. And I said, as you can tell, Boswell has been claimed by our cat, Mochi.
Okay. And what was he okay with this? Did he sort of accept house rules?
Not at all. Furious, threatening to call the police, threatening violence upon me, threatening, to just burst into the house and
rude.
Yeah, absolutely. It got frightening.
So how did you finally resolve it?
I stood my ground.
Oh, wow. So you just sort of stood firmly in place in the doorway and wouldn't let him enter?
I stood firmly in place as I fired my 12 gauge through the door.
Uh-huh.
And kept saying, a man's home is his castle, and you just tried to storm it, buddy.
Wow.
Stuck my head through the hole in the door. And I was like, I hope that learned you.
And what did he say?
Nothing. I'll be honest, shotguns are very powerful. At close range, I had no idea
What?
that your heart could be blown out your back. And I mean, if you want to see a stunned expression, Boswell was like, "What did you do to my former daddy?" Oh, so many tears.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So what happened to Boswell's former daddy? I mean, like, what with to the remains? I'm saying, I know he passed.
Well, deer are afraid of, they can smell people, right?
Okay.
So my son has a go-kart, and I attached the lifeless body of Boswell's dad to the go-kart, and I drove through the woods. And what I was doing was I was scent marking. I was marking and letting deer know that there were humans in the area, because I'm damn tired of getting Lyme disease. So my hope is that the deer will come strolling by. They're going to go sniff, sniff. That smells like a human that's all over the woods, and they're going to run away. That's my plan.
When they say reuse, recycle, I think people so often miss the reuse part about how important it is to not just have single use items. So I think it's really smart, because you could buy something on Amazon that maybe replicates human smell, but instead you were smart enough to take this body, which is extra pungent, I would imagine, and do something good with it.
I did, yeah. And then all over the property, I've pretty much, a lot of people put up no trespassing signs.
Yeah.
I put up Boswell's dad. And so, depending on where you are in the property, you might be like, "Oh, I'm not going there because I see a thumb nailed to a tree."
Isn't that kind of rough on Boswell? Like when he goes out to like play on the swing set?
Yeah, he's pretty much an indoor kid these days.
Okay, Boswell. We're going to have to deal with Boswell as well. So what else is your wife doing? So she's cleaned up the cat poop. What else has she done to prepare for our arrival?
Well, she wants to do a traditional Polish welcoming.
Oh, cool. Okay, which is what?
Well, you're going to arrive, and we've left you a Panzer III tank at the end of the driveway. We need you to hop into it and then just come rushing in and tell her that this house is now yours. She'll feel at home. Ironically.
Whatever I can do for my hostess. I would love to know just some of your house rules. It's been after not getting invited for the 4th of July, which obviously stung like hell, and you feeling guilty enough to finally invite me on the sacred July 20th weekend. I wanted to sort of be reminded of what some of your house rules are.
Well, obviously no surfing.
Okay. No,
because I'm not on the water. There are no waves here. And if you try to surf, you're going to look like an idiot.
Okay. House rule. Okay.
I don't want people coming here looking like idiots.
No. We don't want to take that away from the Sacks. Okay. No surfing. What else? It's important that we be good guests. How do you guys handle mealtime? Because that's obviously a big component of a visit, especially with kids. I've got 2 kids coming. How do you guys handle meals?
Well, I mean, we've got MREs, which are the military meals. You'll be issued several upon your arrival.
Okay.
And then at random times throughout the day, my wife will shout mealtime. And that's your cue to run to your MRE, tear it open, and start eating.
Okay. I mean, you constantly brag about her being a good cook. I mean, is it possible maybe she could cook us a meal or two? Or?
No.
Oh, I thought there was going to be an explanation following that. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. Well, I don't want to, house rules are house rules. Okay. No surfing, MREs. Is there a certain bedtime or anything like that?
Nope. It's, we call it, it's a party time house.
Oh.
So everybody kind of does their own thing. Obviously the 2 COVID people are pretty much bedridden. But, there's music playing all the time, depending on in different rooms to have different music. We got flashing strobe lights. We got Jimmy the Pan Man.
What's that?
He's just a guy who has a pan and a ladle, and he just loves to whack those two things together and kind of walk around the house in a weird pattern.
Oh,
just a clank, 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 clank. And he's on crystal meth, so he just never peters out.
And where did you find Jimmy the Pan Man?
He found us. We woke up one morning and there's this guy downstairs and he's clanking away at the pan with the ladle and he seemed kind of entertaining. The kids thought it was funny and we just let him stay. And he's been awake for 2 weeks. Barely eats. Thin as a rail.
That's good. That's not many MRAs being used on him, I guess.
No. And so, we figured, okay, he's not really eating. He's kind of creating an ambiance of. Yeah,
it's not hurting anybody.
So why not let him stay?
Yeah, I suppose so. Does he, do you feel safe? Like when you shut your eyes at night, when you go to sleep, that he's going to not do stuff to you or your wife or your kids, especially the kids?
Actually, yeah. But what we've done is we've instructed the kids that the minute the clanking stops, to wake up and get out of the house. Because obviously that means something's up.
Okay. See, this is why I asked about house rules, Brian. I need to tell my kids that if the clanking stops, get out. Consider it like a fire drill.
Yeah, you're right. No, that's a good point. Yeah, I should have brought you in, looped you in. I should have looped you in on that.
Okay. Golly. And is he, is he really safe? Has he, he hasn't done anything that some would consider to be illegal?
If he could articulate, then maybe I'd know, but I'm not getting much out of him besides the clanking.
Well, I guess I'm not necessarily looking for confessions out of him. I'm looking more for illegal behaviors.
Yeah. Aside from the crystal mething, I don't see anything. And the breaking into the house, the trespassing. Aside from that, I don't see anything scary or threatening or anything.
Okay, all right.
I don't see anything that would warrant calling the police or anything.
Okay, well, yeah, way to defund the police, Brian. That's great.
Yeah.
So, and how does Pan Man Jimmy? How does he interact with the COVID patients?
Through clanking. They're not super, they're very wrecked and tired. And so they're not super thrilled when he comes into the room clanking the pan. But he usually doesn't stick around for more than 15, 20 minutes before meandering off to a different room. Sometimes goes outside.
Wow. Those poor people.
Yep. But it pays. I should have told you, you need to find out the location around you where you can take the BGAT.
Well, I don't know what that is.
That's the Brian's Guest Aptitude test.
What? Oh gosh. Okay. What does that test consist of? Where do I take it? What? I don't know what this is.
And you're going to have to look it up online, but it's basically a test. It's going to take about 3 hours, and it's just basically evaluating your skills as a guest. My biggest fear as a host is having a boring guest.
Right, of course.
I don't like boring guests, and I don't like guests that yell at me. And so this test is designed to kind of weed out those people.
Okay, can you give me one of the? Let's see how I do. Can you please give me one of the aptitude test questions?
Okay. You wake up in the morning and you come downstairs.
Yes.
You see Brian on the sofa doing the New York Times crossword, which is the only reason he's still a subscriber.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say to him?
I yell, Brian, where's my breakfast?
See, that will be a negative score. That'll be a minus.
What did I do wrong?
Well, I don't like to be yelled at, and I don't want to prepare your breakfast. I'll leave that up to my wife, who's a better cook and more eager to cook for guests than I am.
Oh, geez. Well, then what's the right answer? Because that's the only thing I thought of, and I thought about it for a while.
If you want to score the highest, the proper answer is good morning. I'll let myself out. I'm dismissing myself from your home already, even before I eat, even in the middle of
a 3-day stay?
I think what's important is that, I want to be left alone so I can work on the crossword. And if I have the distraction of conversation, people asking me what's the weather going to be? What are we going to do today? Things like that, that really throws me off. And so ideally, the perfect guest comes downstairs, greets me with a good morning, and then exits the house for the next 3 or 4 hours.
Ooh. Okay. All right. Good. If that comes up on my test, where are these tests administered?
Well, it depends where you are. So you're kind of outside of the city.
Yeah.
There's a Sunoco near you.
Yeah, I know it.
And it has an outdoor restroom.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely know that.
Okay. So you go to the Sunoco, you get the key, you go to the restroom.
Oh, they already know me. They have the key on standby.
Okay. Well, then you go there, you get the key, you go in, and the second cubicle, and there are only 2. So the furthest cubicle from the door.
Yep. The lovemaking cubicle.
The lovemaking cubicle. On the inside of that, you'll see a phone number.
Oh.
Now, it says for a great time called Gladys, and then there's a phone number, but that's code for the Brian's Guest Aptitude test.
Oh.
So you're going to call that number, and then you're going to wait. And a day later, you will receive a package via UPS next day air at that location, and in it is a key. The key is for a safe deposit box in Monroe, New Hampshire, at the Monroe County Bank. You're going to go to the bank on Tuesday when Willie is working. Willie is going to take the key from you, bring you to your safe deposit box, remove the safe deposit box, and inside you're going to find Post-it notes that have been soaked in cooking oil and a receipt for a Walmart in Saugerties, New York. You're going to go to that Walmart in Saugerties with the soggy Post-it notes and the receipt, and you're going to return them, claiming that they came soggy and you cannot write on soggy Post-it notes.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get the answer you want from the clerk. They're going to say, well, sir, it seems like you might have done this after the fact. So you're going to demand to see a manager named Brenda. And you'll say, I demand to see a manager named Brenda. And you'll wait because there is no manager named Brenda. But within 3 weeks, they will hire somebody named Brenda as a manager. You'll talk to her. She, being very new to the job, isn't quite sure what she's doing. So she will return the money to you. You're going to get $2.87 back for your soggy Post-it notes. That $2.87 is the same exact price for a fish fillet at Long John Silver's in Maryland. You're going to go to Maryland to Long John Silver's. You're going to get the fish fillet sandwich. And that sandwich inside is going to have a piece of paper on it.
Oh.
That piece of paper has a phone number on it, which you must call. When you call that number, you can arrange for a private testing of the Brian's Guest Aptitude test.
Okay.
I just wanted to weed out the chaff.
Yeah, that'll do it. This is embarrassing. I apologize for doing this. I stopped listening after the Sunoco station. Could you just sort of repeat that?
Of course I can. Because it was recorded. What I will do is I'll make an MP3 of what I just told you and send it to you. And then you'll always know what to do when you want to take the Brian's Guest Aptitude test. This will be the cell that Miss Maxwell will be in up until her trial.
Okay. Now, thank you for taking me on this tour.
Sure.
You run a very impressive prison.
Thank you.
So thank you for showing me around. As Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyer, I just want to check things out and make sure things are safe because, the last time someone associated with Miss Maxwell was held in prison, it wasn't a happy ending.
Well, depends on who you talk to. You know what I mean? It's all in the eye of the beholder, as we might say.
Right. I like to laugh too, but I'm a little concerned about the safety of my clients. So again, just thank you for showing me around.
Sure, absolutely.
So this would be the cell that she'll be staying in?
This is the cell. Yep.
Okay. Looks fairly standard issue to me. Now, why I see there's a lot of bedding here.
This is all about her comfort. I know she's going to be here for about a year until trial. Or less if things happen. And then, we want her to be comfy the whole time she's here. So we have bed strings.
Well, now, it's funny. I saw all those bed strings, and that must be a prison thing because I've slept on beds almost my whole life, and I've never known something called bed strings.
Yeah, they're bed ropes is what they are. And so they're used to secure your mattress. So you might have this rope here. It's about 6 feet long. It kind of will go around the mattress and you can kind of tie it. And that way the mattress doesn't slide around.
I see. And why? Because I'm looking here at the tag. It says that this rope could hold up to 250 pounds of human weight.
Yeah, it sure can.
Why would that be a feature on a bed rope?
No reason.
Okay, I'm gonna note this. I might bring this up to the judge later. Can you talk to me about mealtime for Ghislaine Maxwell? I'm very concerned about how my client will receive her food.
Well, she will get her food 3 times a day.
Great.
For her security, we will have her eat in her cell. We don't want to bring her to the main dining.
We're willing to agree to that.
And what we like to do is we like the prisoners here to feel like they're contributing to their environment. So we'll have her tray delivered by a succession of different inmates, and they'll all be handed the tray. It's kind of like a relay race, and they pass it on to one another, and eventually it'll make its way here.
Huh. So as many people as possible are going to be handling her tray of food?
Yes. That way they feel like they're contributing, that they're part of the prison system that they're in. And it gives them something to do and something to look forward to.
It feels to me like that might not be the safest way to have many people handling her food where sort of anything could happen. Is it possible that we just have maybe a court appointed person who's the same every time? Just bring her food?
You could try that. I'd say, why don't we give this a try for a few months, and then we could try your idea.
Okay. Look, I don't want to be the guy who's labeled difficult, so I'll give you that one.
Thank you.
Okay. So, and what will her meals consist of?
Does she have any allergies?
Yes, to peanuts and wheat.
Okay. Good to know.
What? Why? Why is that? So you can make sure those things aren't a part of her diet?
You could say that.
Would I be right if I said that?
No.
Okay. Going to mark that as a possible point of concern for us.
We have a traditional gluten surprise for breakfast. And you wash it down with a peanut shake for energy and protein. Be surprised at how high energy and protein those are.
I am very pleased that you're thinking about my client's well-being in terms of having a lot of protein. I think it's important for energy. I am a little concerned that her lungs would swell up and stop working with such a shake.
Do you know how much of a shake would cause that?
Geez, only a few sips, I believe. It's a really severe allergy.
Interesting. Okay. I will note that.
Okay, strange. And I'd love to ask you a few questions about your prison. Are you funded by the government or by private investors or institutions?
A variety of private investors.
Oh, okay. Okay, private. Okay, mark that down.
Yeah,
and then
it is a private prison.
It's a private prison. Okay. Who are some of the? We sort of like to trace back and to sort of see who's funding what. Who are some people who own this prison?
Oh, off the top of my head, geez. I mean, President Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, Alan Dershowitz, a variety of movers and shakers.
Okay, that's a specific list of movers and shakers.
It's mostly dudes.
Mostly men.
It's all men.
Okay. Well, I'm not gonna.
It's all older and well-to-do, connected men.
Okay, well,
who love ladies. I want to make sure Ghislaine is appreciated for what she is.
And what is she?
Prisoner number one in our prison. She'll be number one. Hearts. She'll be the top priority.
Okay. And what is your weapons policy for
all of them?
I'm sorry. You're what does that mean exactly?
We respect the Second Amendment greatly. And we're not going to deny prisoners the chance to practice their Second Amendment rights, to exercise their Second Amendment rights.
Wow. So, wow. I appreciate that you're looking out for the rights of prisoners. That's important to us.
Absolutely.
I will say that makes us feel a little bit uncomfortable because we feel that Ghislaine might be a little bit more of a target than a hunter.
Well, if you're a target, you want to be able to defend yourself. That's why she'd be provided with a standard issue prison pistol.
And that's standard issue, you say?
It is.
I need to ask as her lawyer, would her pistol be loaded?
It will be loaded. Yep.
With bullets.
One bullet.
What, one bullet?
Yes.
Wouldn't she need more bullets to defend herself?
I think one should do the trick.
Okay. I'm not sure what the trick is. I will note that. Now I see that each cell has a desk inside and there are drawers. Mm-hmm. What are some things that prisoners are allowed to keep in their drawers?
We've got a standard letter opener, of course, for any correspondence she might receive. We've got some razors in case the letter opener can't get through the package.
Well, I'm going to stop you right there. That concerns me a little bit. Couldn't she just use her nails or just tear the envelopes or packages open?
Yeah, well, this is a quality prison, sir, and that's why we provide the best accoutrement for our prisoners. So she has a letter opener and she has some sleeping pills next to the bed. You'll see there's a full bottle of sleeping pills there should she have a problem getting a good night's sleep.
Someone has scribbled out the instructions to use this and put in just take them all?
It's an option. We're not responsible for graffiti on the exterior of the sleeping pill packages.
Okay. It just seems like, is your prison really noisy and that's why she'll need the extra sleep or? The prison, is a prison. Sometimes they don't feel comfortable and they need some pills to get sleep. That's why we have some sleeping pills. And then in the bottom drawer of the desk here, you'll find 3 liters of whiskey to wash down the pills if necessary. Seems like a bad combo.
And it looks like somebody left a packet of fentanyl there, and I'm not going to bother throwing it away.
It's not your job. It's I think union rules. You're not allowed to touch that.
Exactly. We know that being kept in a cell can be tough on you physically. So as you'll see here, hanging from the ceiling, we have a variety of gym ropes.
Mm-hmm.
If she wants to do some climbing or some exercises, she can keep herself busy with these.
Okay. It seems sort of similar to the bed strings.
Yeah, we just want her to have options.
And so they're all, I noticed all the ropes hanging from the ceiling, and there's so many of them, all sort of have a loop at the end of them. Is that for some sort of jungle gym apparatus?
It's for gymnastics.
Okay.
In case she likes to practice gymnastics, we've already pre-looped the ropes for her.
Okay. And why? And you have a chair under each one of them. Why is that?
Because
so many chairs in here.
They're hard to reach.
I noticed that you have a welcome note to Ms. Maxwell. It probably would sound better in your voice. Would you like to read me your standard issue welcome note?
Absolutely. Sure. It says, "Welcome, Miss Maxwell, to our prison. We hope you have an enjoyable stay here. Although we understand how depressing it is to be stuck in a prison cell for a long period of time, with the great potential to be stuck in here even longer. And to some people, that might be a little overwhelming, and it might make them reconsider their lives as a whole, if not wish to end them. And we understand that. So if you need counseling, please let us know, and Drake will be happy to talk to you.
Okay, this is interesting. Who's Drake?
Drake is our prison counselor.
Good.
But he's also a realist. And he's not going to lie to you. And that's what I like about Drake. You know, he tells it like it is. And if you're going to be stuck in prison for a long, long time, he's going to tell you that and make sure that you understand you're not going anywhere. He's not going to sugarcoat things, if you know what I mean.
And what sort of advice would he give to a prisoner, maybe like Ms. Maxwell?
Well, I mean, his most recent client got advice basically saying you're done and you're going to be here forever.
Okay.
And I believe there's a chance, you know, he might tell Ms. Maxwell the same. Like I said, he's a realist. He doesn't beat around the bush. He's going to tell it like it is.
Well, you know what? I sort of respect that. Do you mind? Could I just speak to his most recent client and just sort of get an understanding of what that experience was like for him?
Mr. Epstein is not available.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thank you for listening, Jack.
No, I was speaking along with you. I'm thanking the people who aren't us for listening to our podcast. It means a lot to us.
You're acting like I don't thank them. Like, no, I do thank them, and I thank them more than you thank them, Jack.
No, it wasn't a contest.
I resent you. I resent this.
It's going to be a long weekend at your place.
You're going to be a long weekend at my place.
That's an insult that makes no sense.
You don't.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Not you, Brian.
That was questionable material. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast. Make sure to review the podcast. Make sure to visit qmpodcast.com. Thank you.
No!